Hey guys, let's go over some things you could do to your paramotor to make pre-flights go quicker, overall things safer, and get you in the air a lot faster.
Well, one of the first things I like to do is make notes of everything. Sharpie everything. It's a good way to remember what I do, and then I also keep hours, torque settings, and all that. Real key stuff to, so you don't remember, you don't go, you're out in the field, you don't have to worry about the internet, that sort of thing working. Another thing is you want to Loctite all of your hardware. It's a good rule of thumb that it either have Loctite on it or some sort of thread locker. Every time I change my prop or my prop comes off for whatever reason, I change the nylock nuts. They go on the back side of the prop. I don't want my prop coming loose or anything like that. On that subject, a torque wrench is key. Any reputable manufacturer will have a full set of torque settings available for your motor. This is the top 80 motor, so Miniplane USA is where you find their torque settings, and there's all kinds of great write-ups and that sort of thing for most manufacturers. If they're a reputable manufacturer, they're going to have torque settings. Another thing you've noticed here is the little dots and stuff. That's after everything's been torqued. I clean everything, and then I just simple $1, $2 nail polish, and I just mark all my hardware, so it's real easy to give a visual check to see if that's been cracked or damaged or anything. That doesn't substitute for your maintenance intervals, your 15 or 25 or 50-hour services that you need to do on these things, but it's a real quick way when you're in the field, when you're doing a pre-flight, we're just kind of staring at things to go, okay, nothing's moved. On this subject, in this area, you can see in here I have these the double spring. This is key. A lot of paramotor stock come just with one spring and no positive return, meaning if you just let go of the cable, it doesn't force the butterfly shut. In my opinion, that's really unsafe. You can't go racing any car on the ground without having a double return spring and or a positive return cable like a Morris cable or something that forces the throttle shut, and then a toe loop on your accelerator, so when you lift on the throttle it could force the throttle shut. Paramotors don't have that. I'm lucky on my top 80 it has a choke that's easily reachable down here on the side, and that choke allows me to shut the butterfly here, and I can actually kill my motor that way. And that brings me into my second subject, is you want two ways to kill your motor. Kill switch and something else. You want to be able to reach back if you have a fuel shut off, like on the nitros, or a choke, or some secondary way to shut your motor off if your primary kill switch dies. Another thing you can do, it's kind of sketchy, is reach back and grab your spark plug wire. I wouldn't recommend that because normally that's in a sketchy situation and you're strapped in and all that. You can maybe tie a rope to it or something like that and get away with that.
Now you can see here on the top 80 motor, they provide you with these nice little hooks to put an O-ring, or that sort of hair ties come in handy to flip up over here to go over your spark plug boot to help secure that, because one of the most common reasons for motor failures in paramotors is ignition related. So anything you could do to mitigate losing spark is another thing. Another thing recommended is 10 to 15 hours you want to change your spark plug out. The electrode starts dying, it starts going away, and two, the little cap, the little thread on cap, which you always want to Loctite, preferably with red, not just screw on. It starts to die up there and your contact goes away and that sort of thing. So you want to stay after it. Something else you want to take great care in is making sure nothing goes through your prop. These springs have been tied with diamia, so that way if they do fail, they're not going to go through the prop. They'll just break and stay right here tied off. That's real key to do. Another common occurrence is for the air cleaner to come loose in flight, so you always want to pre-flight the nut for it to stay tight. And then I have a zip tie up around one of my spars. This is one of those quick release style zip ties. Just in case it does come loose, it's not going to come completely off and go into the prop. Now I know most of us carry a cell phone. I found this nice Molly designed case, Amazon somewhere. I'll put a link down there for you. I have 3D printed a case or lanyard mount for my cell phone. I'll also I already put the file up on Thingiverse, but you want to make sure your phone, cameras, anything like that you carry with you in flight are tied off, and that it's not long enough, it's going to get back into your prop if you do drop it. It's, safety's everything. You send something through the prop, it's going to damage whatever you put through the prop. It's going to damage your prop and possibly have an issue with your motor, and yeah, you could potentially go down over it. So you want to minimize that sort of thing. Besides the cost factor, it's a safety and danger factor.
Now let's talk a few things that I carry in my seat bag here, always with me when I fly, just for general purposes. This is a first aid kit. It's not super expansive, obviously, but it's got the basics in it, in case you were to go down, hurt yourself, that sort of thing. Get relieve yourself a little bit. Strobe light. This is again one files on the Thingiverse there that I did. It just goes on my top tube there, powered by 9-volt battery. Strobe's available on Amazon. Again, link down there. Little switchy switch. It does the job quite well. This rides on my motor most of the time. I don't always have it on, but sometimes it hangs up when I put it in the truck. But it does work really good for flying. This is a really good strobe for having on the ground if you are doing a night flight, like in a remote spot, or for a buddy or that sort of thing. This is double duty. This is a trash bag, big 55-gallon size, in case you go down somewhere and you gotta put your wing in a bag. This is a great way to put your wing into the trash bag and minimize risk to your wing. Another thing, my mom always made me carry a trash bag when I was out camping and just hiking as a child, because if something happened, a trash bag's real handy as a poncho or as a makeshift tent or all kinds of sort of things that I don't even need to start lifting into this. Also in here, I have a 10mm wrench and a 5mm Allen to take my prop off. In case I land out somewhere civilization-wise, I could pull my prop off, I could disassemble my cage, requires no tools, and I could put my wing in a bag and I could Uber it back to my takeoff point. Another thing real handy to have that's just smart is a compass. These things are notoriously inaccurate. They generally will give you the direction. When you go to buy one, line them all up away from metal and that sort of thing, and try to find the one that's most accurate to true north. That's good. A thermometer, that's good if you're flying when it's cold out and close to dew point, but you're not going to be looking at that anyways, and we have more ways to tell temperature. A whistle, that is just awesome as heck, because if you do go down and you need to get somebody's attention, a whistle is awesome. Yeah, so whistle, whistle, whistle. And on that note, the final thing is a tracker. My tracker is part of my flight suit, so I don't pull it out, but it's really nice to have some sort of a tracker to say, hey, if I went down, my wing is this color, and it's probably not, I'm in a situation where I'm not able to get myself out, and that's why I push this little button. So anyways, you guys fly safe, plenty of smiles, enjoy life.